Addis Ababa. At the heart of the country sits Addis Ababa, a city that vibrates with contrast. Think bustling markets clashing with modern glass towers, ancient Orthodox churches tucked beside hip cafes, and streets that hum with tradition, culture, and energy. As the political and cultural capital, Addis Ababa is a starting point for most journeys through Ethiopia. But it's much more than just a base. It's where the country's soul comes alive in conversation, music, food, and color. Walk through Mercado, one of Africa's largest open-air markets, and you'll find everything from handmade jewelry to fresh spices stacked in colorful piles. Art galleries showcase contemporary Ethiopian talent, while traditional restaurants echo with the sounds of Asmari music. Street vendors serve up steaming injera and rich spice stews, turning every corner into a sensory experience. Historic landmarks like the Holy Trinity Cathedral and the National Museum sit just minutes from tech hubs and fashion boutiques. The city's rhythm is unpredictable, chaotic in the best way, where old and new blend effortlessly. And with every step, Addis reveals yet another layer of Ethiopia's story. Modern, proud, and deeply rooted in heritage. Simeon Mountains. Travel north, and the landscape changes drastically. The Simeon Mountains rise up like the spine of the earth itself, dramatic, jagged, and cloaked in mist. These peaks are ancient guardians, offering some of the most breathtaking views in all of Africa. But they aren't just scenic, they're alive. Have you ever seen a baboon with a red chest patch? The Galata baboons roam these mountains in herds, socializing and grazing high above the clouds. Rare wildlife like the Walia ibex and the elusive Ethiopian wolf also call these heights home. The Simeon Mountains aren't just about the climb. They're about the silence, the wildlife, and the way nature seems to whisper its secrets in the wind. Cliffs drop into deep valleys where the clouds roll in like waves, and time seems to stand still. Colorful wildflowers dot the green meadows, painting the highlands with splashes of red, purple, and yellow. Trekkers find not just adventure here, but a kind of peace that only comes from being completely surrounded by untouched nature. And when night falls, the sky opens up into a dome of stars, as if rewarding the land with light for its stillness. It's the kind of place that etches itself into memory long after the journey ends. Danakil Depression. Then comes the land that defies logic, the Danakil Depression, one of the hottest, driest, and most surreal places on Earth. It's often called the gateway to hell, but for those who make the journey, it's a portal to another world entirely. At the center of this natural phenomenon is the Erda Al volcano. Its lava lake glows like a heartbeat under the night sky. And nearby, the Dalal volcano paints the land with impossible color. Neon yellows, toxic greens, and deep oranges. These hues aren't from imagination, they come from the earth itself, through bubbling acid springs, sulfuric pools, and mineral-rich vents. Despite the heat and harsh conditions, the Afar people have lived here for generations, harvesting salt and carrying on traditions that date back centuries. Can a place this harsh still be full of life and meaning? In Ethiopia, yes. Harar. Step into Harar and it's like the clock stopped ticking centuries ago. Surrounded by ancient walls, this city is Africa's oldest Islamic hub, home to over 100 mosques and a rich spiritual history. But what really sets Harar apart? Every night, a rare ritual takes place. Locals feed wild hyenas by hand, continuing a tradition that reflects the deep, almost mystical relationship between man and nature here. Harar isn't just a city, it's a sacred maze of alleys, markets, and memories. Spices hang in the air, buildings burst with color, and every corner whispers tales of pilgrimage, trade, and devotion. Gondar, now shift from mysticism to royalty. In the northern city of Gondar, echoes of Ethiopia's imperial past still stand tall. Known as the Camelot of Africa, Gondar is home to grand castles, regal churches, and ancient stone courtyards. The royal enclosure is a highlight, a complex of castles that once housed emperors and their courts. It's a place that captures what power, architecture, and faith looked like in another time. Visiting Gondar feels like walking through a lost chapter of African history. Only this one isn't forgotten. It's still living, breathing, and waiting to be explored. Omo Valley, head south, and Ethiopia reveals a different kind of wonder. The Omo Valley isn't defined by castles or cathedrals, it's defined by people. This region is home to dozens of indigenous tribes, each with its own language, customs, and way of life. Where else can one find body-painted warriors, lip-plated women, and traditional ceremonies that have remained unchanged for hundreds of years? Among the most fascinating are the Kara people, known for their artistic body painting, and the Mursi, whose women wear lip plates as a symbol of beauty and identity. Here, tradition isn't something on display, it's a way of life. Markets are alive with color, textiles, beads, pottery, all handcrafted. Ceremonies echo through the land with rhythm and dance. It's not just a visit, it's a step into a world that runs on entirely different rhythms. Jinka and Mago National Park. The town of Jinka, nestled in South Omo, serves as a gateway to both cultural and natural marvels. Though it's peaceful and rural, the energy picks up every Saturday at the bustling local market, an explosion of trade, language, and life. Nearby lies Mago National Park, where dense acacia woodlands and wide savannas offer sanctuary to over 100 mammal species. Elephants, kudas, waterbucks, and even elusive dik-diks roam these lands, moving alongside the Mago River that cuts through the heart of the park. Imagine watching wildlife in complete silence, with nothing but the rustle of leaves and distant bird calls in the air. That's the Mago experience. Ras Dashen. Rising above all else, quite literally, is Mount Ras Dashen, Ethiopia's tallest peak. At 4,550 meters above sea level, this mountain draws climbers, nature lovers, and those simply seeking perspective. It's not an easy climb, but the views? Unreal. Valleys stretch for miles, and the air feels ancient. It's a place where earth and sky seem to meet. And up there, Ethiopia reveals itself in all its silent, untouched glory. The journey is demanding, with steep paths and thin air that test endurance at every turn. But every step forward rewards, with a horizon that grows wider and more humbling. Mountain goats perch on narrow ledges, while eagles soar overhead, riding the cold mountain winds. The silence is so deep, even a whisper feels loud. For those who reach the summit, the world below looks distant, almost like a dream left behind. Kanso and Alaba Kulido. Travelers seeking tradition in its purest form often head to Kanso. Known for its centuries-old terracing system, the town is a marvel of agriculture and adaptation. The people of Kanso have crafted a life in the hills, turning difficult terrain into fertile land with intricate social systems and unmatched resilience. Nearby, the town of Alaba Kulido brings in color, commerce, and community. Famous for its woven textiles, pottery, and traditional arts, the town buzzes with trade. The blend of highland beauty and artisan spirit makes it a vibrant piece of Ethiopia's mosaic. Markets here aren't just for buying and selling, they're cultural gatherings where stories, skills, and traditions are exchanged. Villagers take pride in their craftsmanship, passing down techniques through generations with care and precision. Brightly patterned fabrics wave in the breeze, each one telling a different story through its design. And beyond the trade, the spirit of togetherness runs deep. Hospitality isn't just a gesture, it's a way of life. This region may feel tucked away from the world, but its cultural heartbeat is strong, steady, and unforgettable. Acid Lake. And finally, tucked in the Great Rift Valley is Acid Lake, also known as Lake Shala. This isn't your typical lake. Its waters are acidic, shaped by geothermal and volcanic activity over millennia. Despite being inhospitable to most life, the lake sustains a unique ecosystem that has adapted to these harsh conditions. Surrounding it are geothermal springs, volcanic craters, and eerie landscapes that look like they belong on another planet. Isn't it wild how such a hostile place can be so strangely beautiful? Did you know coffee was first discovered in Ethiopia? According to legend, a goat herder in the 9th century noticed his goats behaving wildly after eating berries from a certain bush. Curious, he tried them too. Eventually, monks experimented with roasting the beans and brewing them into a drink. That's how the world's first cup of coffee was born, from the hills of Ethiopia to cafes worldwide. So the next time someone sips a latte, they're sharing a piece of Ethiopia's legacy. From the misty mountains to the sun-scorched salt flats, from sacred cities and royal castles to tribal rituals and geological wonders, Ethiopia is not a place to visit, it's a place to feel. Every step here tells a story, every region opens a different chapter, and every person you meet carries generations of resilience, pride, and heritage. This isn't just Africa's most ancient kingdom, it's a land of unseen beauty, unmatched depth, and unforgettable experiences. Which destination in Ethiopia surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this journey fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next adventure. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired,